I swear, one day, tech news will get so advanced that it'll just become self-aware. Then it'll just report on itself. Wow, narcissistic much? Cyberpunk 2077 launched last week to widespread user complaints about it being, quote, buggier than my aunt's cockroach-infested trailer.
What was that a quote from?
I don't know. Well, one curious Redditor who claims to be a C# developer didn't want to wait around for a patch and discovered that they can get significantly higher frame rates simply by editing a couple of parameters in a config file. These settings appear to allow the game to use more system resources, including memory and VRAM. The user claims that with a few tweaks, they were able to get above 60 FPS at 1440p with high settings using a GTX 1080 Ti. Hopefully this tweak will help some of you who are struggling to run the game and don't have enough eddies to cyber up your rig. Not that you could chip in now that all the kleptoids have yanked all the choice gear.
Wow, you seem like you've been playing the game a lot.
Maybe a little. The smartphone industry is still trying to find a foldable that will really make a splash in the market, and Oppo, with the help of design firm Nendo, thinks they might have one. They're calling it a slide phone. Whee! But it doesn't really slide in the way you might remember back when we were all rocking feature phones. Instead, it can fold and unfold vertically into 3 different sizes. So it's really more like unrolling a piece of fruit by the foot.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, love it. Each configuration enables different features, and when you unroll it all the way, the phone is actually quite long, which might make for a cool option for watching movies on the go, I guess.
Blade Runner.
Oh, totally.
Really long.
So is Lord of the Rings. Right now, the phone's just a concept, so there's no word on when we might see it or something similar on the market. I guess if we really need to unroll something in the meantime to get information, I can always just go back to reading the newspaper.
Oh, like we all used to do. Definitely.
You know me.
Big newsie.
Just gotta love sitting. The big news from Apple recently has been the launch of Macs with their own custom silicon. But it looks like Cupertino isn't done with designing more of its in-house components. According to a recent Apple town hall, the company is also developing its own 5G modems for use in both iPhones and iPads. Although this would have significant repercussions in the balance of power in the mobile space, it isn't too surprising, seeing as Apple is dead set on controlling as much of its own ecosystem as possible. Previously, Apple had been using modems from Qualcomm, so it shouldn't shock you that Qualcomm shares tumbled a little bit after the news came out. But I'm sure they're not too worried. Apple has made ARM desktop chips a real commodity, so you know what they say about rising tides. If they get too big, it's a tsunami, I guess?
That's what they say.
Today's Expedient Moments are brought to you by Redux, a PC builder striving to bring the fun of PC gaming to the masses. Redux doesn't charge markups, just a $75 build fee. Wow, that's pretty good. Select your budget, pick your games, see how they perform, then let Redux build your PC. And all builds come with a 2-year warranty, so check it out at the link in the description and start creating your own PC today. What did I even call them?
Redux? Oh, Expedient.
Expedient Moments. You can't live without them, and you can't live within them.
Whoa, and I've tried.
But I just did. Disney is apparently digitally adding masks to photos of maskless people on Disney World rides. The idea was to both encourage compliance and allow riders who are following the rules to still buy a photo. Why don't you just tell them to put on a mask? Disney has reportedly seized the practice, but the real question is when they're gonna stop overcharging for cheesy potatoes. Oh, cheesy potatoes? For cheesy photos of people on the log ride. I'm guessing never. Especially the potatoes.
Don't let those potatoes on. They're dangerous.
Dang cheesy boys. CD Projekt Red has promised that several patches will be rolling out for console Cyberpunk players over the next few months, with the next round to come within a week. They're also offering refunds for console customers if you just don't want to wait and you would rather use your money on something else, like those non-existent new consoles, GPUs, and CPUs. You should get an LTT desk pad instead.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wait.
Those are out of stock too.
Riley, dang it, man.
Please.
If you're like me and tried to access Google's main services this morning, such as YouTube, Gmail, Google Search itself, Google Sheets, whatever, you might have only came across error messages. The outage affected large swaths of Europe and North America for a little less than an hour, and apparently even Nest thermostats weren't spared. So hopefully your house didn't turn into some kind of weird sauna today.
It did.
It might be kind of fun.
It was great. Very relaxing.
I'm sure the baby loved it. Speaking of Steam, the game platform made headlines earlier this year for setting a record for the most concurrent players. And now it's happened again, as nearly 25 million players were online at once over the weekend. No doubt the pandemic and the launch of Cyberpunk helped this number. I mean, you count as being online even if your system runs Cyberpunk like a slideshow, right?
Still entertaining.
Oh, totally. And although tons of electronics manufacturing and supply chains have been disrupted by the aforementioned pandemic, the next iPhone should be released on time. That is, in September of next year. Apple fans were concerned considering the delayed iPhone 12 launch and limited supply, but analyst Ming-Chi Kuo doesn't foresee a similar situation for the iPhone 13. How lucky.
Ha ha ha!
Haha! And that's our show. So come back on Wednesday for more tech news, and don't worry, the show won't be delayed till Thursday.
You say that now.